Castor's gonna be working on being desensitized from the fence again, so I think this is the third time I've done this. And he's still kind of getting the hang of it. Like there you can see he's pretty tense trying to turn and get this treat, so he's not super comfortable. I need to hold my hand here better so he can get it. There we go. Because that's not going to help the situation if I'm holding it like that. But so you can tell he's still a little tight with it, so he's not super comfortable. Like if you look at his other videos where I'm just on the ground, you can tell like that was much nicer. And then he had a nice head turn and then he tried to grab the treat. So I need to be a little bit steadier in my hand so he doesn't feel like he has to grab it. But um, you can tell that his head and neck position is not the same as it is in the ground. Whoop, he dropped it on the ground. That's all right. Because you can see his head's up, and then that's one of the most telling signs that he has. And then kind of just his behavior overall. So like when he takes a treat, he's kind of quick. Like here, he's kind of quick and grabby. He's a little tense because he usually doesn't do that. So that, and then the high head and neck is a big tell for him. And then I think later on in this video he moves a little bit, so that's another tell. I want him to get used to my foot touching his side, going over his back, and then him seeing my leg on the other side. So I shouldn't be pulling my hand away there. I should be holding it steady and probably bringing my hand closer to his head, because this is not helping him at all. I don't really know why I'm doing this. I think the goal was I want him to go a little bit softer, but pulling it away from him is not going to help. So I should bringing it to him, not pulling it away from him, because he's just going to want to grab it more. So ask him to touch it. Okay, that's a good, asking him to target it would be a good track. Yeah, pulling it away is not good. So I'm going to leave this in, even though it's not great. I don't do this anymore, but I want to kind of show that that mistake that a lot of people could make. So, and kind of the mechanics of it, so that we don't do that later. But I mean, a good part that I did do is getting down and kind of breaking it down a little bit. And I can't see because I'm in the way, but I think I did the same thing. And then he's just getting confused. He's like, I don't understand. Like, every time you click, you give me a treat. He doesn't get it. So I was kind of on the right route there, trying to just work from the ground, and then that didn't quite work. So I was like, well, I'll try again. Push my hand forward, and that would have fixed my problems. Because he doesn't really want to put his head between like his body and the fence. So that's where I'm getting that behavior from, is he's twisting his head to go get it. He doesn't want to ram his head into the fence, and it's just kind of uncomfortable for him. So I should have brought my hand forward and toward his nose so that he didn't have to turn his head as much and he could grab it and be good about it. So yeah, like you can see the difference when he's on that other side. Even though it's kind of scary, I'm on the other side, but he doesn't have that fence in the way where he feels blocked, and you could see he was a lot smoother and calmer about it. And I definitely didn't help the situation at all, but that's a learning curve here. So hopefully then you can see this and not make the same mistake. I think I say that a lot because you make a lot of mistakes. It's okay. See here he was worried about it. That's all right. I'm gonna let him leave. He comes right back. It's okay. It's just information for me. So like he comes right back nicely. So I think just he's a little bit worried about the treats, like treats aren't coming like they normally are, and then I'm adding that with this new behavior I'm asking him to do, which is stand while my feet are kind of all over him. So it's going to help to kind of break it down a little bit and just work on one of those things at a time. That was much better. And maybe instead of adding in all of the desensitizing with my feet, I should have just worked on feeding him treats from the fence and then moved on to, putting my leg down the length of his back and on his hindquarters and over his back, because I'm kind of just doing too many things at once, I think, here. And that can happen really easily with horses because you're usually on a time frame or you have some kind of schedule and there's just a lot you want to get done and you try to add too many things together. So it always helps to stop and break it down, because then I can break it down and then we have this lesson that's correct. Because I just did that and then I added something else to it and then I just, I added them all together because I have all the pieces. That's what I've found, at least. So here he's moving away again. So I think I touched his hindquarters. He decided he was a little worried about that. And you can tell, like, look at his head position here. And I don't think I'm very helpful by trying to use the lead rope to maneuver him. So, like, if I was redoing this today, I'd probably just let him be loose. I think my idea here was Okay, I'm asking him to step over. He just does not understand. That's what caused the whole thing. But I think my idea here was I'm going to keep the rope up so he can kind of see it and desensitize to it, because I also wanted to work on tying. So again, back to what I was saying before, he's trying to do too many things at once. So you can definitely see he's much more tense. His head and neck is up, it's hollowed out. He's got his head up and he's looking around. He's moving a lot more than usual, like just a lot more worried here. You can see he's moving his head away. Just a lot of worried behavior here. Just ask him to come up, which he's being really responsive. He's just confused. And he's really good at that side pass, so I just need to slow down and just break it down for him. Not a big deal. See here, he doesn't even want to come over to the side. That actually was really good. See, when I move my hand forward, he could actually go and get the treat. And now, I mean, obviously I was sitting on the fence and not leaning over his back, but it was just so much more clear for him, and he could get to it without being worried about it. So here I just kind of slowed down, did some petting, did some patting of him. For the Mustangs is a big deal and a big difference. And then just started just kind of touching him on the side with my foot, clicking and rewarding. That looks so much better. Should have been doing that on the other side and not trying to do a million things at once. There, that looks good. And he has a little bit of a flinch there, but that's alright. That's his first couple times doing it. He's going to be a little worried about it. And the boot feels different than other things. You know, can be a little uncomfortable if he doesn't know what it is, so I want him to get used to that. And he's pretty cool with me kind of climbing on him, as long as I'm making it clear to him what it is that I want. Oh, I love that. That looks so much better. So, and I should have just done that on the other side. And I left it in because this is important to see. So, it's not always going to be perfect. That's alright. That looks good. That looks a lot better. I mean, he's still got his head up a little bit, but just you can kind of tell, like, in his body language, like he's blinking there. The way he's getting his treat is really nice and calm. I really like that. And there, like, I was just kind of breaking it down and just desensitizing to my leg over the length of his body instead of moving there and then putting my leg over and then doing this. So overall, it ended well.